Hi, and welcome to another episode of Is It Really Stealing If You Really, Really, Really Wanted It?
Oh yeah, no, in
In
5D.
5D, yeah, right?
Yeah, no,
Now,
that's
let,
how
let
that
me let me
works.
throw a curveball at you. What if you really, really, really didn't want the other person to have it? Like you didn't even want it, but you didn't want them to have it,
I feel like that counts more.
right? Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like that's like I know it's not Lord Fleece's exact thing, but he just wants everything he deserves. I think
yeah,
sometimes other people don't deserve things.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
So, hey, as long as we're on the same page about that.
hmm 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 hmm
What was the last thing you stole? And not the air from my lungs, jackass.
uh, Stole your heart.
Yeah.
Um,
See.
Man, it's been a long time. It was probably a book,
A book? Okay, so like a comic book or an actual book?
probably like a D&D book.
Oh, I
Or
could see
no,
that.
no, it was probably a comic book.
I mean, if
It was
if we're
probably a comic.
if we're counting like PDFs, then yeah, I think for me it would be a D&D book before I could afford
Oh
them.
man, if we're talking about software, shit. The
Right?
last thing I stole. If we count it by proxy, I had a bunch of friends upload a bunch of like pirated media to a hard drive for me, but like I haven't downloaded anything, God, in like 14, 15 years. Although it's honestly theft in general. I haven't stolen
Oh yeah.
anything in any way to speak in like 14, 15 years. Not
Same.
that dude anymore.
Same.
Not
I
that
I
dude.
feel like the last time I actually like stole something was and I was never the stealing stuff from stores. I grew up poor, so if
Oh,
you
I
know.
was the stealing stuff from stores.
I was never that guy because every time I'd hear my mother's voice in my head and that chancla in the air that said don't do it. No, it was a whole moral upbringing, fuck me and my ethics. But yeah, no, I
See,
think the
that was actually how I justified stealing. I would never steal from a person. I would steal from a store because a store, and never like a mom and pop shop, but like
mhm.
some faceless fucking corporation. People who work there don't give a shit.
I mean that's fair. I I just never did it. It always
Yep. And I'm
it
not saying
always
it's
just
right. I'm
seemed
saying that's
wrong,
how I
right?
justified it.
But
Not
I
saying that
will say
that
I
is
downloaded the
correct.
fuck out of things on Kazaa or Kazaa
Yeah.
Lite.
Oh, yeah.
Kazaa
When I was
Lite
in middle
actually.
school,
Oh yeah,
I feel like
same.
it was, even though it was absolutely illegal, I feel like it was less illegal than
I feel like yeah, the whole digital
I was in middle
revolution.
school, and that makes it okay.
Yeah, not luckily we're past the statute of limitations and all that shit. But yeah, I downloaded a lot of software.
I, and I probably even overbuy stuff that I could get for free, or even honestly, stuff that I have gotten for free. I will turn around and buy like full copies or physical copies or things
Oh,
all
what
the
I
time.
tend to do now is like even if like a comic is available on like Comixology or any of this stuff that
Yeah,
I
if you
stream,
like it, you pick it up.
if it's good enough, I'll pick it up or I'll pay for the like music on Spotify if it's artists that I'm into or some new folks that I think they're doing good. I'll buy their album on like iTunes or whatever.
Yep.
Or I try
Uh,
to do
uh,
direct whenever I can, but if they
Games
don't,
on Game Pass or the PlayStation
mm,
Plus. If I like them enough, I actually go and I buy physical copies of them.
yeah,
Same with like
yeah.
games I get on Humble Bundle or yeah. I try and make up for it when I can now.
For sure, no, same kind of deal. But I just remember back then it was like I didn't have the money, but I had internet.
Also, the one that I'm really big on these days, we go to well, when there's not a plague outside, we go to a lot of concerts in my
Hmm.
household, and like even some like local band that I've never heard of, if they put on a halfway decent show, I usually go and I buy a T-shirt these days.
Oh
Because
yeah,
especially for those smaller bands, like they're there, they're selling that shirt, they're getting the cash in hand. I'd
and
rather get directly for like I'll buy a shirt and an album and fucking tip my hat.
I almost always try to do like a if they had a really good show, I'll buy like a hoodie because they're usually the most expensive thing.
Hmm
If it was just okay, t-shirt. If okay, the promising, I'll buy like a wristband or something. just varying levels of support.
I get a lot of like album and t-shirt. That's like my go-to. You put on a decent
Yeah.
show, man, album and t-shirt, sold. I'll
Yeah, I
fucking
get it.
rep
I'm all for it. I'm all for supporting artists and what they do.
Mhm.
But speaking about plague, have you ever wanted to die while trying to sleep?
Oh, that's a big question. I don't know how to answer that.
No, I had a very rough weekend, and I just remember.
So you got your I don't think you mind me saying you got your second round vaccination.
Second round.
It's in your body. Have you developed superpowers?
I might. I can hear my hair follicles screaming.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, they
I
sound
was
like
really just hoping I could turn on my Xbox with my mind since it's Microsoft branded superpowers, but I didn't even get that.
To be fair, though, I feel like only one of the vaccines was going to be Microsoft branded superpowers.
That's the one I got.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, I got the what I didn't know this, but I'm told what it's the discount one.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm told. It's the only one that was available in where I live now.
But it's better than the fucking all-in-one, because I feel like that's the scary one.
Well, there's two all-in-ones, and to be
Is there
fair,
two all-in-ones?
I thought there were two all-in-ones.
I'm pretty sure there's only three. There's the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Johnson & Johnson. And the Johnson
Astra.
& Johnson...
There's AstraZeneca.
That's one... That's...
So
Those are the same thing.
wait, Johnson & Johnson, they're just rebranded in different places?
Yeah, hold on.
And
Which one?
this counts as...
They all have two names like that.
Well,
Pfizer.
Johnson...
Oh, AstraZeneca is Pfizer.
Okay, fair enough. So I thought there were four when we had a conversation about it this weekend. But no, the whole point is, yeah, if you are comfortable with it, do get your vaccine. Otherwise, just stay indoors.
To each their own, man. Like
That's why I said if you're comfortable,
not
man.
gonna force it down anybody's throat. But hey, I'm
But
on
if
the
you're
side
not
of the
gonna get
fence
it,
of like,
all I'm saying is if you're not going to get it, just stay indoors. That's it.
yeah,
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's cool.
just fuck off.
Yeah, it's okay to make
Take off,
that
eh?
choice. Just don't make that choice for other people. But
Right.
my whole point is, I apparently I won the lottery of side effects.
You got it
this one.
bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Well, both me and my wife got it bad, but it just seemed to hit me a little bit worse and a little bit longer lasting. I just remember the night of, I am lying in bed. I am both cold and hot, like sweating profusely, and I'm shaking so much. The next day, my lower back was sore from the chills. And there was a moment in the middle of the night where I woke. I was wide awake, freezing my ass off, and I just realized, is this the way that I go? Well, I didn't realize I had the thought.
Wow.
And then, of course, rationality came through, and because it was coming out the back end pretty weirdly too. So
After I got my second one, the next day my arm was pretty sore. That was like more than the first one. Even the first one, I was like, it's not sore at all. Second one, I was like, damn, that does hurt. But all I had next day, had the poops in the morning. Had to dump one out.
Well,
and then after that, I was like, I'm a little sleepy. I think this is what everyone was talking about. Then you pinged me a few days later, and you're like, I'm fucking dying. And I was like, guess I was just maybe
just
a
to
little
put this
sleepy.
into context for the for the crew here for the podcast. I skipped D&D because I couldn't function properly.
Yeah.
Like that next day, it was me on the couch. I think I got off to use the bathroom to make soup. And then there was one like work meeting that there was no, I couldn't. I had scheduled this meeting.
You got done making soup and went and made some soup.
Yeah, pretty much. So the crazy bit is I scheduled this meeting at work, and it was a meeting that I just needed other people in the room to talk. But I had scheduled it like a month back, and I couldn't bail on it. So the whole time, and I know that this is a visual for the folks on the YouTube watching the video, but this was me in the meeting, just like leaning on my fucking face with my eyes barely open. And when people ask questions, I would sit up, give a response, and then just go right back down to like, well, fuck, I hate this bullshit. But I honestly still think worth it. I know these side effects are better than the whole dying bit from what's going on. So whatevs. I will say that it always breeds for very funny hallucinations. I hallucinate when I have fevers. It's happened my
Never
entire
had
life. And the worst part is, well, it's not the worst part. Um, the interesting bit is that they're not hallucinations in the sense where you watch in the movies and like a homie walks in and tells you like, hey, you should
We
fucking
need to make a sandwich.
or something, or it's like, look, this giant fucking marshmallow, and you wake up and your pillow's gone. None of that shit. It's always like it's all hallucinations in how my cognitive reasoning is. So a couple years back, I think this was actually when I actually had the swine flu.
He turned into a pig.
Yeah. Only halfway back, I still taste like bacon. And then, oh my God, I had more. You can tell that I'm mellowing because there was so many worse things going through my mind. I think I'm getting old, but no. So what I started to 100% genuinely believe is that my bed had turned into cardinal directions of power, and I had to lie with my head facing in these cardinal directions of power to get better. However, it wasn't just one of them. There was a series of combinations, almost like I was unlocking the secrets to the goddamn universe. So I spent all the night rotating between these different cardinal directions that didn't actually match any of the real cardinal directions. They were just the ones on my bed. So that's an example. This time in particular, I was convinced that there was a parade of some invading force going through the streets of my town. So when I first woke up, like for reals after this, for like 30 seconds, I believed that I was gonna have to go defend my home. So I started to create a battle plan until my cognitive mind actually came through and was like, "You're just fucking crazy. You're fine." And then, then I went about my day. So it was definitely pretty interesting. I'd like to say that it's nowhere near as interesting as what we see in the movies. And from what I hear, there's almost no drug that actually does that.
No.
Which is really weird because, like, why put that out there? Why?
I this was a thing that was promised to me and never delivered. Was like Hollywood was like, "Hey kids, drugs do this stuff." Nope.
Yeah, like
No, they
come
don't.
on. Like
They don't do that.
Why you gotta lie about that? Although I feel like there's some additional things that I haven't tried, mostly like LSD.
Yeah.
And I
Definitely.
hear higher doses of MDMA. Am I saying that correctly?
The one I'm being told now, it's like the gold standard is like ayahuasca, but that shit fucks you up, and that's the only reason it does anything is like you're dying.
Maybe.
You're dying.
So you're basically having a I almost said a midlife crisis. Well, that too, because we're talking about this. No, yeah. So you're having a out of body experience kind of thing because near death experience. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I look. I don't actually know what ayahuasca does to you, but knowing how most drugs of this type work, it's because your body is fighting something really severe off.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're poisons. You're just taking controlled amounts, loosely controlled amounts of poisons or toxins.
Well, I
and
mean,
things.
technically, almost anything is your body treats like that, right? Like you eat too much sugar.
Beer. Yeah, alcohol is poison.
Alcohol, even like sugar. You eat too much of it, and your fucking body's like, "Hey,
No,
I can't process this shit. It's a fucking poison." So yeah. No, I completely understand. I just find it fascinating.
We are 15 minutes in. We have not talked about entertainment.
So this is related.
Okay.
So I spent the next day on the couch and I couldn't focus on anything. So I was like, I'm gonna try something funny and whatever. So I actually took your suggestion.
You watched 3 hours of Dora the Explorer.
Yes, but the adult version.
The weird part was you didn't understand any of the Spanish.
Yeah, because I was watching the Swedish version and it was Dora the XX Explorer.
Nice.
No, I started watching
Kjörgen boots.
Da.
That's all you got.
That's-
That exhausted it.
oh my god, I just fuck. Oh, but no, I actually took your suggestion and started watching Brockmire.
What a fucking gem.
Okay, so
Like out of nowhere.
this is one of those shows that it's how can I describe it? It is fantastic, but I have trouble watching them all like a lot of it at the same time. So I got through like 5 or 6 episodes and I was like, I need a break
Oh yeah.
because
Because it's a lot.
it's dark comedy, but it's done in such a way that it's a lot to unpack. So
Yeah.
I feel like this was like Major Leagues, but
Major League.
Major League, sorry. Well, there's more than one movie. Fuck you. No, Major League.
Correct, but none of them
But,
are titled in the plural.
Less parody.
Yes.
That's what it is. It is a dark comedy, and I have. I'm gonna fuck up his name. Azaria. Main character?
Hank Azaria.
Azaria. So I love him. He does great voices.
Azaria?
Yeah, same. At least I got the last name. Whatever. I'm going with that. I love him. I think he's great. I think he does really good characters. I remember even his one-off characters. I think was it Along Came Polly? It was one of the Ben Stiller movies where he's playing a scuba instructor that ends up, and this is an old movie, so if you think this is spoilers, eat a dick. An old movie where he ends up banging the main character's wife, and that's the catalyst that like breaks up his marriage and all that.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Along Came Polly. It might be because I feel like he might have done very similar movies.
Actually, that sounds right. Maybe it is Along Came Polly. I think the ones people would know him more for. So Hank Azaria probably most known for The Simpsons. He's Chief Wiggum. He's Mo Sizlak. He was Apu. Birdcage. He played Nathan Lane's boyfriend.
I've yet to see that.
Birdcage is actually just a super fun movie.
I mean, but he's kind of been all over the place. Like he's done voices.
Yeah, no, Hank Azaria,
Family Guy. Like
he's absolutely been around, but this is him. I think he actually writes and stars in this show.
Yes, well, he definitely he does have a writing credit. I don't know if he's the only one doing it.
Yeah, no, I doubt it's solo, but yes.
To be fair though, this is the actress from Saving Silverman, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so she already has fucking amazing comedic timing, and
she's great.
She's great, and they play really well off of each other.
So just brief on what the show is. So it's Hank Azaria's show, and he plays kind of a train wreck of a human being who is a professional baseball color commentator or whatever. He's the guy, and the count is 0-2. Bobby takes the mound.
So I don't think he's a commentator. Is it a sportscaster?
He's whatever. Like he's not on ESPN. He is specifically at the baseball stadium in the booth, doing the whole booth. But he was famous for it. And now he's just a train wreck, drug addict, alcoholic, sex addict.
Yeah. And honestly, I will say that sometimes with shows like this, the main characters is all you get. Like that is the focus. That is what brings the heat. But honestly, some of the supporting characters in this show
are great.
Fucking kill me. So I won't spoil too much, but the lady that plays his ex-wife does it fucking amazingly.
She keeps coming back too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like.
Did you finish it?
No. Like I said, 5 or 6 episodes in a row while sick as shit, and I was like, time out. I need a moment. But it did make me feel better. I was like, hey, at least I'm not this guy.
Yeah. Now, the show actually just ended. Originally played on IFC.
Mystery Men, Blue Raja. How did we not mention that?
Yep.
That fucking movie, like, yeah.
Yeah. So originally played on IFC. It actually just ended its 4th season, where it did bring the show to a close. I actually really enjoyed the ending more than I thought I was going to.
Because endings are hard.
Endings are, and like this is one of those shows I was like, I just don't see them landing the ship kind of straight. You know what I mean? Like that it was going to get parked a little crooked. We were going to deal with it, but no, I would say it brought it in for a real smooth, easy landing. Everything was good. Not the best ever, but really enjoyable. And the final season is both a fantastic departure and the only logical thing to do next.
Fair enough. I guess I will have to get there, but no, it's a solid show, and I like that it throws enough of like just humans in to make the plot lines quasi believable, even though they're a little absurd. Although I do have to admit something. For the longest time, a lot less now because the other actor is a little older, but I would get Azaria and Jeremy Irons confused.
That's weird.
They look like each other. I'm just saying. But anyways.
Nope, but okay. Do you have any favorite Brockmire quotes so far? Because he is very quotable.
Well, that's the problem, right? Like there's so many good ones. God, I can't think of it because you put me on the spot. There was the one thing where he's trying to be completely understanding about him thinking the other character is gay, and the way that he explains how he's totally cool with it, fucking floored me because it was.
Do you remember any of it?
Oh God, it was something along the lines of what did he say? You look like a twink, but you're not quite pulling it off. But if you do X, Y, and Z, like he was literally trying to encourage the dude and giving him pointers on how he could better be a better twink. And the other guy was like, "I'm not even gay." So it was that line, just that whole exchange, fucking floored me. God.
I pulled one up right here just so the audience can get a taste for what they're in for, because I will say we say this a lot on the show, not for everyone. Not everyone is going to love this show, but just so you can have a taste, a small back and forth. Brockmire. No, the nickname Matt the Bat comes from his locker room presence. He's got the biggest dick in baseball history. Gabby. Oh, seriously? Brockmire. Oh yeah, Matt loves all that alpha male bullshit. He likes to bump into you accidentally on purpose to make an impression. Literally, left a dent. There's a density to it, Gabby. It's like a windsock that's been packed with wet sand.
Okay, I got one. So I'm gonna have to set this up for you. There's a lot of episodes. There's a lot of rants. Trust me, we're not really spoiling that much. The setup is he is writing a joke for a quasi awards speech that he's gotta do. And then he, I'm gonna butcher the other character's name. It starts with an M. Shit. But anyways, his whole joke was that he was gonna take his dick and put it on the guy's face to pretend that it was a mustache. You know what I'm talking about exactly, right? And when he's called on it, he tries to explain. He goes, "Oh, you don't understand. Like everybody knows that." Mitch or whatever the fuck the dude's name is, can't grow facial hair, so like it's kind of an inside joke. And then he has my dick on his face, and that was his whole like explanation. I just fucking lost it, and I'm watching this with my wife who isn't really into this kind of humor.
Yeah, it's not my wife's humor either.
Yeah, exactly, and I immediately thought like this is something only like Bonsai, his brother, and I can really fully enjoy, because I have not found other folks because it's not just poop and fart jokes. It takes the Kevin Smith vulgarity and adds in a little bit of intellect to it.
I have a quote here that leans into that. I really like this too. What kind of joyless golem serves soup in a green room? Are they requesting that we eat it out of a cup? Some kind of failed attempt at shabby chic? It's so fucking petty and like specific. Oh.
Well, okay, one more and then we're moving on.
Brockmire, feel the rhythm now. Masturbation, my best defense against sleepless nights.
Well, then sometimes he drops things like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go kill myself after this. So let's wrap it up. Um, Things like that, and I'm just like, oh my god.
It's
But
so dark.
he's announcing a pitch, and the batter comes up and he goes, and now up, I think it was Uribe. Is the character's name, and he goes, and this is the fattest guy in baseball, and he does his little spiel. Then the next guy comes up, and this is what I like to think of as the second fattest guy in baseball.
Actually, honestly, the selling point is the opening bit where he's talking about his wife. He's doing his whole color commentary count. He's like, 0-2, 0-2, like my attempts at my wife. Unlike 5-5, my neighbor's attempts at my wife as I walked through the door and saw him rimming her. Really, just like graphic fucking detail as he is talking about his wife getting nailed.
I
by
just
his
like
next-door
his
neighbor.
dedication. He always makes that announcer voice, even when he's just talking normal.
Oh, yeah. All the
he
time.
is committed.
It doesn't turn off.
It is fantastic.
This show's so good.
Yeah, it is a solid show. I haven't seen all of it, so giving it a rating seems a little premature. But honestly, 4 out of 5 for sure. Like
Off of just 5 episodes, yeah. And honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get better for you.
Okay, fair enough. I need to take a break. There was just too much. There was too much to unpack. I was feeling
Yeah.
way too shitty, and honestly, laughing hurt. So I had to walk away and watch something less funny.
You just gotta put on like Antiques Roadshow.
Okay. That to give me hope that I could sell my old crap for money?
Things for me, I don't know what it is, but me and my wife have what we call vacation shows. And like anytime we're on vacation, and we tend to do longer ones, so we can always bake in a day of like, I just want to be on vacation and not do anything. I just want to like sit in the hotel, maybe go out like twice for food, and then other than that, just like lay in a place that isn't at home and watch TV. And we always end up watching like Pawn Stars or Storage
I was about to
Wars or
say
like
Pawn Stars is that for me. I get that.
yeah, like just really mindless, could not matter less, but weirdly interesting and engaging.
Okay, so there is a show that is about people that go to flea markets and they're given projects. And what they do is they go, they are given like $100, and the theme of today is old is new. So they have to find an old piece, renovate it, and then they get sent to another flea market a couple of days later because they have some time to do it, and they have to resell it, and whoever sells it at the highest price wins the prize money or some shit. I forget exactly.
Okay.
It's oddly entertaining because not only are you watching these people try, barter for shit, old shit, you then watch them take things like, an old set of like an old wheel and turn that into the base for a coffee table or the base for a coat rack or something. And then they have to do all the work themselves. There's like a couple of experts that help them, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, you had a lot of expert help there. But then they have to actually convince other people to buy them. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. That's
Do you know what
another.
this is called?
I think it's is it Flea Market Swap? Flea Market. No, I'm looking for it. But I think it's Flea Market Swap. Flea Market.
Welcome to the Eduardo Googles Thing show.
Yeah. Flea Market Flip.
Flea Market Flip.
Yeah, Flea Market Flip. Brought to you by HGTV. We're not sponsored, but we want to be.
Feel free.
Yeah. Give us money. Yeah, that's also one of those shows that you watch on vacation just because there's nothing else to do. Also, BattleBots. There's a bunch
Dude,
of
BattleBots
seasons now.
is the jam.
Yeah, I
There's
remember,
a new season?
There was a year ago.
Is it streaming anywhere?
Yeah, we all watched it on, I think it was Hulu that we watched it on.
It was more than a year ago.
No, it was a year ago because it was before I moved up to where I'm at, and I was vacationing where I'm at, and we got so high we couldn't move from the cabin we were staying at. And it wasn't just me, it was everybody, all 6 people that went on that vacation. We watched BattleBots and then took 2 hours to decide what we wanted to eat, because we'd start a conversation and then a cool robot fight would start.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously it could be that it was an old season that I hadn't watched, but
I think that might be the case.
But anyways, also BattleBots.
Yeah, BattleBots is fucking dope. I actually really like BattleBots.
I mean,
Ooh, on December 3rd, 2020, it was announced that a spin-off titled BattleBots Bounty Hunters would be produced, which premiered January 4th, 2021 on Disney Plus. What?
Oh, well, now
What?
we have to catch up.
Oh, and there was a 10th season, December 3rd, 2020.
There you go.
Discovery Channel. Is this all on Disney Plus? Can I just watch a ton of BattleBots right now?
Only if you get baked first.
I don't think that's a prerequisite.
I mean, it is now. I will say I haven't turned into one of those guys that thinks everything's better baked.
The old half-baked joke. Man, you ever seen the back of a $20 bill? Yeah, I guess. Man, you ever seen the back of a $20 bill? On we. And it's like Jon Stewart.
It is Jon Stewart. That movie had a lot of cameos, like really solid cameos.
I feel so bad for Chappelle on that movie.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, that whole story where they basically took half of his movie and went, no.
I can confirm for you right now that there is absolutely no BattleBots anything on Disney Plus. That is a fucking lie.
Okay.
On there right now.
It might be Hulu, because Hulu.
It's because it's Discovery Plus. And I just had a moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't have no Discovery Plus.
Gross. But Hulu has a deal with Discovery. A lot of their shows end up on there. Yeah. I don't know if it's one of those where you have to buy the TV stuff too. And
Maybe.
since I don't pay for cable and we wanted some TV channels, I pay for it. I'm not sorry. All right, I've talked about the stupid shit I did while I was at Fever Dreams and fucking on the couch. What the fuck did you do this weekend?
Heroin. No.
Oh, that's a weird name for a dude.
I feel like you have something pulled up, but it's not something that I did this weekend, so it's throwing me. What'd you pull up? Yes, you do have to have live TV for it.
Take that.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of things. We have that little bit of e-news that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, let's do the e-news because it's weird.
Okay, well, bring it.
So there's not a whole lot of information out.
Sure.
But for anybody who's watching live, you can see on screen right now, there's some news about the beloved, for good reason, Bring It On franchise.
Timeless.
Oh, absolutely. It's basically our generation Citizen Kane.
It's the worst.
So,
go on.
I mean, it's fucking whatever. It's whatever. Bring It On is coming back. I think 2022.
Okay.
As a horror franchise.
Okay.
That's about as much information as we have. Bring It On is being rebooted as a horror franchise, which I gotta say, Eduardo, this makes me feel like maybe we gotta strike while the iron's hot. There is a beloved Canadian drama franchise that I told you about that we can
need to get the rights for.
Hold on, hear me out. We write it in canon, and worst case scenario, we change all the names and have it be out of canon if nobody will let us write it in canon.
Oh, so it's basically the Lord of the Rings game, Shadows of Mordor.
I'm saying, like, we're just playing with some toys that have familiar backstories,
For sure. Well, before we get too far into that, however, I just want to let the audience know this timeless franchise has actually had like 6 movies.
I knew it had at least 3. I didn't realize it went that high.
Bring It On.
Mm-hmm.
Bring It On Again.
Uh-huh.
Bring It On All or Nothing.
Naturally.
Bring It On In It to Win It.
Ooh.
Bring It On Fight to the Finish.
Okay.
And then Bring It On Worldwide.
What?
That was the latest one in 2017 from what I can see. I wonder if there were more that never made it on the docket there. But yeah, no, it looks like Worldwide Cheer Smack. I forgot that part of the tagline. My bad. I focused too much on the Worldwide, not enough on the Cheer Smack. But yes, it looks like 2022. I think they're calling it Bring It On Halloween.
Yeah.
Now, is this a crossover?
Oh, can it be?
I kind of want it to be. I feel like the Halloween franchise has been beat up enough to be able to do this successfully.
I'm telling you, we gotta strike while the iron is hot and work on a beloved Canadian horror spinoff.
You know what? No, we're taking a beloved Mexican children's show called Carousel, and that's what we're gonna convert.
That's not the one with the rubber ducks, is it?
I don't think so.
There was one. I don't know what this was. I sat at your house. You were doing something and just needed like time to do it. So me and your brother sat in your living room and watched a show completely in Spanish. Spoke way too fast for me to keep up with, about a bunch of like, I don't know if they were supposed to be kids or if they were supposed to be adults, but they all like went to school.
Oh no.
And then every once in a while they flashed rubber ducks up on the screen. And then like that, you were supposed to laugh at the rubber ducks, and I was like, "Dude,
no,
I
think what you watched was a skit show."
No, because I watched more than one episode with him, and it was all the same characters.
Yes, it is. It's a comedy show, I guess I would say. With was this the one where it's adults playing kids?
I think they might have been playing kids.
So it's adults playing kids. Yes. No, this is a part. Think Children's Hospital. But it is about
totally satire.
Totally satire, but because it's Hispanic, it's really raunchy, naughty satire, like most Hispanic comedy that I'm aware of.
Sure.
But no, what I am referencing.
Wait, do you know the name of it? Can I at least have the name?
Fuck no, I don't remember the name. I know what you're talking about. Who the fuck put that on in my house? I think
your brother did.
I was probably outside, like searing the flesh of dead things to feed.
No, you were doing something on your computer. I think maybe you had to work, and this was before. I'm not sure. But
fair enough.
I sat in that front room with your brother and watched like 2 full episodes of whatever this show was.
Okay. No, this is definitely not that. What I am referring to is similar to the Canadian show, but these
El Chavo del Ocho.
So there's that one. That's more of a skit show.
Okay.
That's more of a skit show. So that's actually a very think Jesus Christ. That is one of the most prolific Mexican comedians, the actor that played all those characters. So it's a trope. It's a troupe. So like Flying Circus, kind of like that, except they always had the exact same rotating skits, and it was just a continuation of those same characters.
Okay.
So El Chavo del Ocho, as I'm saying it, is actually just one of the skits, and that particular skit was about a vecindad, which is what is called those buildings that have like that outer door, but inside there's a courtyard and there's a bunch of like apartments around it.
Okay.
So that particular character was El Chavo. Is he was a homeless orphan that lived in a barrel in the courtyard, and he interacted with all the other people from the apartments in one way or another. So there was that one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like this.
No, not at all. So, and then there was another same show, of course, but it was a spin-off on that where they moved to the setting of a school, right? And a lot of the characters would be like interchangeable. So the professor would sometimes show up in some of the other skits and so on and so forth.
Sure. It was basically the MCU before the MCU.
Yeah, kind of like that. And then one of the skits was actually about two straight gentlemen, because this is an older show, allowances, that lived in their own house together, but they're both a little like crazy. And the one of the biggest gags is that the neighbor would always come over because she was interested in them, and they would be completely oblivious that she wanted to have a relationship with them. But her excuse would always be like, "Can I borrow a cup of sugar?" And they'd be like, "Yes, of course," and always give her some random fucking thing. So that was like one of the running gags. But the connector for those characters was the mailman was the same mailman that would show up in the Vecindad. And they had a couple other ones. One was about two criminals that were always up to shenanigans and things never went right. So it was very much a very long running and very beloved show that was a lot less raunchy and a lot more approachable to family entertainment, so it got really popular. I remember as a kid, we would just watch that because my dad would put it on and we'd watch it. Random one. There was another skit that was about a Mexican superhero called the Red Grasshopper. Was his name?
That's dope.
Yeah, and it
was in Spanish.
Like El Chapulín Colorado.
Yeah, that sounds way doper.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the same actor that would play El Chavo, which is not to be confused with El Chapo. Completely different type
guy.
Of thing. Yeah,
different guy.
But it was his superhero costume actually had antennae. They were on those little like springy things. So he'd be walking around, and of course he was a bit of an inept superhero, and everything worked out despite his ineptitude, kind of thing. And it was really well done. But anyways, that is a whole entirely different show. The show that you're referring to didn't come around until years later. Whole different generation of comedy.
Okay.
But yeah. So no, what I am referencing is that beloved Canadian show that you're referencing, but focused on primary school kids. Instead of like what the one you're referencing is it all high school, or was there some middle school as well?
So it depends on the season you're watching, enough. But yeah, it seems to go from middle school to high school. And actually the original show was all middle school apparently, but I've never watched the original show.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, that's the one I was referencing. So running with that, but like,
so Bring It On Halloween. All right, will you watch it? Will you at least try it?
As long as you don't think that we need to watch the other ones, because I think I saw the first one and I just kind of went, no, all right,
if you don't understand all 6 other movies, how are you? No, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. So, have you seen the original in a while?
I honestly don't think I've ever seen the whole thing.
Okay. I haven't seen it in years. I don't know if it holds up. I feel like a lot of those movies, I didn't love them then. I probably won't really enjoy them now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to watch and review. We could be surprised like Pitch Perfect.
True.
Probably not. But hey, you know
probably
what?
Probably not.
There's a chance.
I like Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku, so...
Yeah, I don't think they're bringing them back. I don't think any of the sequels even had them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty sure that they didn't. I think it was a whole like new class. I think they made it bigger at this point. Although, except I guess Elijah Dushku never really made it huge,
No,
um,
she really didn't.
which is weird because I thought she was talented.
Yeah, loved her in The New Guy.
That movie holds up.
Movie's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It holds up. A lot of the gags aren't necessarily like pop culture based, so
Yeah.
they hold up. Yeah, Eddie Griffin
And
was
imagine
actually
it.
pretty good in that.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
he doesn't get a lot of work these days.
I haven't seen him in many things where he's been the star. Where I've been like, oh yeah, because like Undercover Brother.
Yeah.
I mean, even Chris Kattan couldn't save that movie.
Chris Kattan couldn't save Chris Kattan.
I
Let's
don't
not
know.
forget Corky Romano.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I feel like that was a swing and a miss. Although Night at the Roxbury, I still think is pretty funny.
But was that funny because of him or because of Will Ferrell?
I don't know, because again, Will Ferrell's only ever good in supporting roles, so I feel like Chris Kattan did well as the main on that.
Maybe. It's been years since I've seen it.
Yeah, now that we talk about all these movies, we need to start rewatching.
Do
some
we
of
do a
these.
run of Saturday Night Live movies? Oh God! So that's what Wayne's World, Pat, Superstar, Night at the Roxbury, MacGruber.
Oh God, MacGruber. Okay.
Is that it? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up a list. Oh, Coneheads,
Yeah, that's right. Coneheads. That one.
Ladies Man.
Ladies. Okay, I liked Ladies Man.
Okay, here's the full list. It'll Blues Brothers. I don't know how we forgot the original, but Blues Brothers,
'Cause it was-
Wayne's World.
Way too good for the rest of them.
Blues Brothers is fantastic.
Yeah.
No, Blues Brothers, Wayne's World. I would say that's the gold standard right there. Those two.
Okay.
Coneheads is really beloved. I haven't seen it in years. I don't remember loving it, but maybe I was just too young for it, so I probably should rewatch Coneheads. Wayne's World 2, a lot of people say it's bad. I really like Wayne's World 2. I'd say Wayne's World 2 is honestly just as good as the first one.
I have now seen both of them.
Would equal, right?
Oh yeah, for at least equal for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, It's Pat.
Okay. I didn't even like the skit.
It's not gonna age very well, I think, is my biggest problem. Stewart saves his family, but remember this is SNL Stewart, not Mad TV
Yeah,
Stewart.
I hated Mad TV Stewart, so I guess that's a good thing.
Blues Brothers 2000. We don't need to mention that ever again.
I think I saw that.
Night at the Roxbury, Superstar, Ladies Man, MacGruber.
Okay. Oh man, for some reason I thought Anchorman was also a thing from there.
No, Anchorman. No. MacGruber sitting with. Actually, wow. Some of these Rotten Tomato scores, not that Rotten Tomato should be trusted for any particular reason, but man, I can see why they stopped making movies. So, Blues Brothers, Wayne's World, 83 and 84%.
Okay.
Coneheads drops to 35%.
Coneheads was really weird for the time. I feel like folks didn't resonate with it, but I remember watching it as an adult later on, and I was like, I understand the appeal, but yes, it's fucking out there.
So, Wayne's World 2, 61%.
Okay.
Here's where things take a turn. It's Pat, 0%.
The skit was stupid.
Stewart saves his family, 30%.
Okay.
Night at the Roxbury, 11%.
Oh, well, I disagree with that one.
This next one is just wrong. Blues Brothers 2000 at 45% should be much closer to -10. Superstar 32%, Ladies Man 11%, MacGruber 48%.
What?
Honestly, I'm not familiar with the MacGruber skit, so when the movie came out, I was like, I don't know what this is, and I hate it. And then I never saw it.
MacGruber was a riff on MacGyver.
I mean, I get that much, but I've never I don't know what the shtick is. That literally just it is we're doing MacGyver, but it's not MacGyver, or is there more to the shtick? I legitimately I've never seen the MacGruber stuff.
To be fair, I only saw a couple of the MacGruber skits, and it was only because the movie was coming out, so I wanted to go and see them. So I saw.
Is there more to it than just like we're doing a take on MacGyver?
He's overly confident. He's like confidently incorrect.
Okay.
So I would describe that to be his whole shtick.
Okay. That can be fun. It's
of course,
done, but it can be fun.
Of course, it's done now.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, MacGruber, a few years old.
But yeah, no, I just.
What year was that? That was.
Well, when did the skits come out?
I don't know. Okay. MacGruber is already 10 years old. Wow,
Yeah.
It's already 10 years old. I didn't realize that was 2010. That was a little newer than that. I thought it was at least like 2015 or so, but no.
You're closer to death than you think you are.
Oh no, not even in that way. Just I thought it was more
Feel.
recent than that. Ladies Man was 2000. I would have said Ladies Man was before 2000.
No, I definitely not, because I was aware of that, and I wasn't aware of media before about 2000.
That's funny.
It's a sheltered childhood. I wonder if I'm gonna get canceled for making my people's voice, because
I think you probably get a pass. Now we'll get canceled if I do your people's voice.
Oh, so all of those other times that you've done it is like a no-go? Good to know. I'll just scrub those episodes.
I think it's okay as long as I'm doing Slowpoke Rodriguez, right?
That's true, right? You're referencing a direct character. Okay, so we're almost out of time, but there is one more thing I want to talk about because it was so kind of fucking out of nowhere.
Okay.
The new Edgar Wright project. Can we talk about something serious?
Yes, we can.
All right, so you take it away because you brought this up.
Man, it's kind of hard to take away. So what drew me in, it's Edgar Wright's next film before Last Night in Soho, which is already going to be a big departure from what he already does, right? It's going to be a thriller movie, not anything like the Cornetto trilogy. Mm-hmm. So he's also, before Last Night in Soho drops, going to be dropping a documentary he did on the beloved band Sparks.
Sparks the band.
And if you're sitting there going, "Who the fuck are Sparks?"
So
apparently that's sort of the shtick. So these guys are kind of tagged as being your favorite band's favorite band, and what they are. The only reason I get this as much as I do is because Eduardo and I both follow stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say super heavily, but we both follow enough deep cut stand-up comedy. We follow it a little bit more than your layman. We're novice level stand-up comedy heads, right? But once you start to breach that barrier of stand-up comedy, you kind of learn that outside of the major names of stand-up comedy, there are these few comedians who aren't household name famous, and yet just about every stand-up comic you listen to talk will mention them. There are stand-up comics, not to say they're making jokes about stand-up comedy or something, just that they're kind of banging on this level that stand-up comics get, that people one arm length removed are just on the peripheral of getting. They're ahead of their time, They're dropping the stuff that's going to become interesting, but isn't there yet. And that's what this Sparks band is. Sparks has 24 albums, and yet is not a household name. The Beatles copied a lot of, at least according to this trailer. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not any more familiar with the band than anybody on the street. Apparently, the Beatles copied a lot of their style. A lot of modern pop music came straight out of what Spark was doing 15 years ago. These guys have been around since the 80s and constantly, 24, 26 albums, something like that, constantly producing work, have never caught on, except once you dig deep and get into those who's the weird stuff that inspired that really cool band that I like? It's these guys.
Yeah, and to be fair, they formed in 1967.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
And yet, You know, I feel like that's going to be this podcast. Is one day we're going to have a video about us, and they'll be like, "It's this podcast that like 0 people listen to, but somehow they've been going for like 20 years straight."
Yeah, it's something like, dude, we're coming up on that.
We are coming up on
been
that.
a minute. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. But yeah, no, it's just I had never heard of them until today. So
Never. Same.
full disclosure. And I'm a music head to the point where like some of my favorite artists haven't been referenced in a long time.
Yeah, I listen
And
to a
not like
lot of shit.
classic
Motherfuckers
rock.
scratch their heads
Like,
and go
get
like,
the
"I don't know what
fuck
the
outta
fuck this
here."
is." I'm really interested in listening to these guys.
If any of you out there thought Led Zeppelin or any of that shit, you
Shut the
dick,
fuck up.
that's not that. Like, that's a very popular band that has stayed fairly popular in the limelight. And I'm not trying to be a fucking hipster about it. It's not a bad band. It's solid in their own way. I'm just saying, like, Sparks, we're talking about stuff that is like just
Deep cuts.
deep cuts. So, anyways, I've never heard of them. I saw the preview for it, and generally speaking, I'm not a documentary kind of guy. I feel like I'm gonna like excerpts out of this documentary versus just sitting there watching the whole thing.
Sure.
I'm just not that guy. But
I love
yeah,
it. You're right.
I get that. I understand. So I find things like this fascinating for sure, though. Like there's always the green room with Paul Provenza. I feel like it's along the same kind of lines where it's this show that or show that really references these deep cuts and old timey. It's a comedians show. It's a show for comedians and people
Right.
that are into
And this is a movie
art of
for
comedy.
musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'd be interested what our buddy Sean would
I'm gonna try and get
would
him to
think
watch
of
it. I
this.
honestly, just because of Edgar Wright, I'm probably gonna watch it too. But
Fair enough.
yeah. All right, right about that time, sir.
I also just want to say that it looks like Benedict Cumberbatch, the guy on the left. I'm just gonna put that out there. If he was, playing this emo character.
It's fair. And was older.
I mean, you can do that with prosthetics nowadays.
Fair. Play us out.
Play us out. No, check us out Monday nights in 5D podcast on YouTube. We are here 7 to 8 Pacific. Tuesdays, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. That is also streaming at the same time on the YouTube as well. Thursdays, Bias Bros, 7 o'clock. Same deal, twitch.tv/Metagame Network and in 5D Podcast YouTube. That's where Bonsai and Jay talk more movie stuff, and they do Judd's List.
The Barry Judd list.
I was close. That's the best I can get.
We do Judge Dredd's list.
I said Judd, not Judge. Judd's.
We do Judge Reinhold's list.
Oh wait. That always kills me that his name's Judge. It's just, who does that? His parents must have hated him.
Goofy fuck.
But yeah, it's still not as goofy as fuck. Now I can't remember the name and it's not worth it. Final words, Bonsai.
Peekaboo Street.
Okay.
That's a famous figure skater.
Yay, Midge. Good for pun. Bye.
It wasn't fun. Bye.